Stop scrolling. Right now, I need you to answer a question. And be brutally honest with yourself. Do you believe that being a good person is what keeps you safe? That your kindness is a shield? That your generosity builds unbreakable loyalty? That your honesty is the bedrock of respect? If you whispered yes, then what you are about to hear will shatter your entire worldview. You are living inside the most comforting and yet most dangerous lie ever told. The biggest mistake good people make is believing that goodness and safety are the same thing. But here is the brutal, unvarnished truth. Unchecked goodness is not a shield. It is a welcome mat for exploitation. It is the reason you feel drained, overlooked, and taken for granted. It silently burns through your relationships, your career, and your dreams. And a man named Niccolò Machiavelli figured this out 500 years ago. He was not a monster. He was a prophet of power, a political strategist who watched good leaders be betrayed, kind rulers be overthrown, and generous souls be bled dry by the very people they helped. He saw that the world, in its raw, unfiltered state, does not reward pure virtue. It rewards strategic strength. Today, I am going to reveal his hidden truth, the shocking cost of blind goodness that no one talks about. You are going to learn why your innate decency is making you weak, why people don't respect your kindness, they simply exploit it. And most importantly, you will learn the exact step-by-step process to transform your goodness from your greatest weakness into your most powerful, unshakable weapon. Let me be perfectly clear. This is not about becoming evil. This is not a call to hurt people. This is a strategic briefing on how to be good strategically, not blindly. Because the cold, hard reality is this: in a world of wolves, being a sheep doesn't make you moral. It just makes you dinner. Now, I want you to make your first strategic commitment. Drop this affirmation in the comments below. Let's see it flood the chat. Write this: I choose strategic goodness. From this moment forward, everything changes. You will no longer use goodness blindly. You will wield it with precision. In this video, we will uncover the 8 fatal flaws of blind virtue. We will see exactly why goodness without strategy often destroys you. And we will see with crystal clarity how to transform it into a source of real, undeniable power. Let's begin with the first shocking truth. The first strategic insight: the trap of predictability. Think about the kindest person you know, the one who never says no, the one who is always there for everyone. Now, I want you to ask yourself a frank question. Is that person truly deeply respected, or are they just used? The truth is, being consistently good makes you vulnerable, not secure. When you are always kind, always available, always agreeable, you become predictable. And predictability is a strategic death sentence. People's brains are wired to map the behavior of others. They learn very quickly that you won't fight back, that you won't say no, that they can push you around because you are too nice to do anything about it. You become the office doormat, the friend who always pays the check, the family member who always says yes, even when a yes feels like a piece of your soul is being torn out. Let me tell you a story. I knew a manager. Let's call him David. He was the best team leader I'd ever seen. He always helped his team, always covered for their mistakes, always put their needs before his own. He believed he was building a family. Then came a promotion, a position he deserved more than anyone. Guess what happened? They promoted someone else. Someone sharper, more assertive, less nice. The feedback was devastating. David is a wonderful supporter, but we don't see the leadership edge. His goodness had made him invisible. He wasn't seen as a leader, he was seen as a servant. People don't respect a kindness they can count on. They simply factor it into their plans and exploit it. Think about it. When someone is always available to help, their help becomes worthless. When someone never sets boundaries, people will keep crossing them. When someone never shows teeth, people assume they don't have any. Your goodness becomes your weakness because it signals to the world that you can be taken advantage of. Machiavelli once wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." You have been trying to survive as a sheep in a world of wolves and traps, and you wonder why you keep getting hurt. It's time for a new declaration. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Let's see it. I protect my energy. You are not a public utility. You are a fortress. It's time to start acting like one. The second strategic insight, the generosity paradox. Now let's talk about something that will truly bend your mind. The more you give to people, the less they appreciate it. I know that sounds completely backwards, but stay with me. Generosity creates short-term applause. People clap for you. They sing your praises. It feels amazing. But over time, something dark and twisted happens. Your generosity doesn't build loyalty. It breeds dependency, entitlement, and eventually resentment. Let me explain the psychology. When you help someone once, they are genuinely grateful. When you help them twice, they are thankful. But when you help them 10 times, they start to expect it. Your exceptional kindness becomes their new normal. And if you ever stop, if you ever have to say no, they don't remember the 9 times you said yes, they only remember the 1 time you said no. Suddenly, you're the selfish one. You're the bad guy. Think about parents who give their children everything they want. The first gift is magical. The 10th gift is routine. The 20th gift is an entitlement. And when the parents finally say, "No, we can't afford that," the children don't feel gratitude for the past 19 gifts. They feel anger over the one withheld. This happens in your friendships. You always pick up the check. You always drive. You are always the one helping people move. At first, they appreciate it, but eventually, they stop saying thank you. They just assume you'll handle it. And if you ever need them to return the favor, they're suddenly too busy. This is the generosity trap. You give and give until giving becomes your identity. And the moment you need to receive, or even just stop giving, you become the villain in everyone else's story. Your constant generosity doesn't build loyalty, it builds addiction. People become addicted to your giving, and like any addict, they get angry when their supply is cut off. The psychological mechanism behind this is called hedonic adaptation. We get used to good things very, very quickly. What once felt special becomes normal. What once felt generous becomes expected. So your repeated acts of kindness actually lose their power over time. They become invisible. People stop noticing them. But your single act of saying no, that stands out like a red flag. That's what they remember. That's what they focus on. That's what they complain about. This happens everywhere. At work, if you always stay late, staying late becomes your normal. Nobody celebrates it anymore. But leave on time once, and suddenly you're not committed. In relationships, if you always compromise, compromise becomes expected. But stand your ground once, and you're being difficult. This is the generosity trap. You give and give until giving becomes your identity. And the moment you need to receive, or even just stop giving, you become the villain in everyone else's story. Your constant generosity doesn't build loyalty. It builds addiction. People become addicted to your giving, and like any addict, they get angry when their supply is cut off. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He advised that benefits ought to be conferred gradually, and in that way, they will taste better. The man knew something most people never learn. Scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it. It's time to change your approach. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Write, "I give strategically." Your generosity is a powerful currency. Stop devaluing it. The third strategic insight, the mask of virtue. Now, this next truth might make you uncomfortable, but it is essential for your survival. Society operates on appearances, not reality. People don't care if you actually are good. They care if you look good. They don't judge your heart. They judge your image.
This means that to maintain power and respect, you must learn to wear the mask of goodness while keeping absolute control beneath the surface. Look at the most successful people you know. Do you think they got there by being genuinely, unconditionally nice to everyone? Of course not. They got there by being smart about when, how, and to whom they show their goodness. They smile in public and make hard decisions in private. They show mercy when it serves a purpose and show strength when it is necessary. They understand that the appearance of virtue is often more powerful than virtue itself. This isn't about being fake. This is about being strategic. Think about it like this. A doctor must sometimes cut you open to save your life. Is the doctor being cruel? No. The doctor is doing what needs to be done, even if it causes temporary pain. Real leaders understand that sometimes being truly good means looking temporarily bad. Sometimes helping someone means saying no to them. Sometimes protecting your team means making unpopular decisions. The mask of virtue isn't about deception, it's about timing. It's about knowing when to show your soft side and when to show your steel. Most people get this completely backwards. They show their weakness to their enemies and their strength to their friends. Smart people do the opposite. Machiavelli put it perfectly. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. He understood that perception shapes reality. If people perceive you as weak, you become weak in their eyes. If they perceive you as strong, you become strong in their eyes. It's time to take control of your narrative. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Let's see. I control my image. You are the director of the movie of your life. It's time to start directing. The fourth strategic insight, the economics of power. I want you to understand something fundamental. Every single thing you do has a cost. Every favor you grant, every time you say yes when you want to say no, every moment you spend helping others instead of building yourself, it all comes from a finite account. Most good people never think about this. They give and give until they have nothing left. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted, resentful, and taken advantage of. Here is what you must internalize. Your time, your energy, and your resources are limited. When you spend them on others, you have less for yourself. Acknowledging this isn't selfish. It's mathematical. Unlimited kindness drains your strength. And when you are drained, you can't help anyone, not even yourself. Think about the airplane safety instructions. They tell you to put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. Why? Because if you pass out trying to help someone else first, now there are two people who need rescuing instead of one. Life works exactly the same way. If you exhaust yourself helping others, you become someone who needs help. You transform from an asset into a burden. Smart people understand that to survive and thrive, your resources and energy must be guarded with extreme care. This doesn't make you mean, it makes you sustainable. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I said yes to everyone, every request, every favor, every quick question that turned into hours of unpaid work. I thought I was being a good person. But you know what happened? I started resenting people. I felt angry and bitter. My own projects suffered. My own dreams were delayed. And ironically, I became less able to help the people who truly, genuinely needed it. That's when I realized the crucial truth. Saying yes to everyone means saying no to yourself. And when you abandon yourself, you will eventually abandon everyone else too. The most generous people in history weren't the ones who said yes to everything. They were the ones who said no to most things so they could say yes to the right things in a massive, world-changing way. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." You cannot command others if you cannot command your own time, energy, and resources. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself. Make this commitment now. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Let's see, I protect my resources. Your energy is your army. Stop sending it on losing battles. The fifth strategic insight, the strategic use of virtue. Now, let me be perfectly clear. I am not telling you to become heartless. I am not saying you should throw away mercy, honesty, or generosity. What I am saying is this: these virtues must be used like weapons, deployed precisely at the right time for maximum effect. A sword sitting on a shelf doesn't protect anyone, but a sword in the hands of a skilled warrior at the right moment can save an entire kingdom. Your goodness should work the same way. When you help someone, it should be intentional. When you show mercy, it should be strategic. When you are generous, it should create the specific outcome you desire. Let me give you a concrete example. Instead of helping everyone a little bit, help the right people a lot. Instead of being nice to everyone, be exceptionally kind to those who truly matter to your mission. Instead of saying yes to everything, say yes powerfully to the things that perfectly align with your goals. This approach does three powerful things for you. First, your help becomes more valuable because it is scarce. Second, you actually create bigger positive impacts because you are focused. Third, people respect you more because you are selective. Think about the most respected leaders in history. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't gentle with injustice, he confronted it powerfully. Mother Teresa didn't try to help everyone in the world, she focused intensely on the poorest of the poor. They were good people, but they were strategically good. They used their virtue as a tool to create change, not as a way to be liked by everyone. So, how do you do this in real life? Before you say yes to any request, I want you to ask yourself three simple questions. Number 1, does this align with my core values and my long-term goals? Number 2, can I do this without depleting my own energy and resources? And number 3, will this person truly appreciate and respect what I am doing for them? If the answer to any of these questions is no, then you do not just say no. You say no kindly, but firmly. You hold the line. And when you do say yes, you do it fully. You give it your best effort. You create real value. You make a meaningful difference. This way, your yeses actually matter. Your help is remembered. Your generosity creates genuine loyalty instead of silent entitlement. Machiavelli once wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." What he meant is this: sometimes keeping your word to one person means breaking your word to another. Sometimes being good to your family means being firm with your coworkers. Sometimes protecting your dreams means disappointing people who want to use your time. Strategic virtue isn't about being selfish, it's about being effective. Let's see this new commitment in the comments. Drop this affirmation: I choose effective kindness. From now on, your goodness has a purpose.
The sixth strategic insight: the illusion of gratitude. I need to tell you something that will change how you see human nature forever. Gratitude is temporary. I know that might hurt to hear, but it is a fundamental truth. The favors you do for people, the help you provide, the sacrifices you make, they have an expiration date in people's memories. Repeated favors stop feeling like gifts, and they turn into obligations. What starts as "thank you so much" becomes "you should do this," which becomes "why didn't you do this?" You help your neighbor move. They are incredibly grateful. You help them move again 6 months later. They are still thankful, but less excited. You help them a third time. Now they just expect it. The fourth time they need to move, they don't even ask. They just assume you'll be there. And if you can't, suddenly you're the bad guy. This is just human psychology. We adapt to good treatment, we take it for granted. We start seeing exceptional kindness as normal treatment. In the end, people remember the advantage they got from you, not the kindness you showed them. This pattern repeats everywhere, in relationships, in workplaces, in families. The person who always says yes becomes the person everyone expects to say yes. The reliable helper becomes the automatic choice for every problem. And when that person finally sets a boundary or says no, they are treated as if they have betrayed everyone's trust. The more consistently kind you are, the less your kindness is valued. The more available you make yourself, the less special your availability becomes. This is the illusion of gratitude. We think that doing more good things will make people more grateful. But ironically, it makes them less grateful because they simply come to expect more good things. The people who appreciate you the most are often the people you help the least frequently. The people who take you for granted are usually the people you help the most often. This doesn't mean people are evil. It means people are human, and humans naturally adjust their expectations based on their experiences. Understanding this doesn't mean you should stop being kind or helpful. It means you must become strategic about it. You must set boundaries. You must make your help conditional sometimes. You must let people experience what it is like when you are not there to solve their problems. Machiavelli observed that men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. People see what you are doing now more clearly than they remember what you did before. Your past kindness becomes invisible. Your current actions are what they judge you by. It's time to create impact that lasts. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I create lasting impact. Stop being a short-term convenience. Become a long-term asset. The seventh strategic insight: results over intentions. The world is a brutal judge, and it judges outcomes, not motives. You might have the purest heart in the world. Your intentions might be golden. But if your actions do not create the results you want, none of that matters. History does not remember the people who meant well. History remembers the people who got things done. Let me ask you something directly. Would you rather be remembered as someone who was really nice but didn't accomplish much? Or as someone who might have seemed tough but actually made the world a significantly better place? Most people, trapped by the need to be liked, will choose the first option. But here is what they don't realize. Being remembered as just nice means being forgotten entirely. You see, there is a brutal but undeniable truth. Sometimes being truly good means doing things that don't look good in the moment. Surface-level kindness often creates temporary comfort, while tough decisions create lasting impact. A parent who disciplines their child isn't being mean. They're being good by teaching crucial life lessons. A teacher who gives tough grades isn't being cruel. They're preparing students for the real world. A boss who sets high standards isn't being unreasonable. They're helping their team grow stronger and more capable. Real goodness is about results, not appearances. It's about creating positive outcomes, not just positive feelings. This is where most good people go horribly wrong. They focus on being liked instead of being effective. They choose comfort over growth. They pick temporary peace over lasting positive change. But here is the ultimate truth. If you're not getting the results you want from your goodness, you're not being good enough. You are being nice. And there is a world of difference between the two. Nice people avoid conflict. Good people resolve necessary conflict. Nice people tell people what they want to hear. Good people tell people what they need to hear. Nice people maintain the status quo. Good people create positive change. The world is full of nice people who accomplish nothing. What the world needs more of is good people who get results. Machiavelli is often misquoted as saying, "The end justifies the means." While the phrase is reductive, the principle holds a kernel of strategic truth. Your good intentions are meaningless if they do not manifest in good results. People don't live inside your heart. They live with the consequences of your actions. So remember this. Real goodness requires courage. It requires you to prioritize outcomes over appearances. It requires you to stop asking, "Will they like me?" and start asking, "Will this actually make things better?" At the end of the day, people won't remember your intentions. They will remember what you built, what you changed, what you left behind. Make this your new focus. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I focus on outcomes. Let your results do the talking. The eighth and final insight: legacy and survival. Let's talk about what truly, ultimately matters. How you will be remembered. What you will leave behind. History does not honor the merely good. It honors those who survived, endured, and turned their will into greatness. Think about this for a moment. Can you name 5 nice people from history? Probably not. But you can name 5 people who created lasting change, even if they weren't always pleasant to deal with. Steve Jobs wasn't known for being nice. He was demanding, a perfectionist, and often difficult. But he created products that changed how billions of people live, work, and communicate. I am not saying you should be mean to people. What I am saying is that being remembered for making a difference is infinitely better than being forgotten for being agreeable. Here is what most people don't understand about legacy. You cannot leave a positive mark on the world unless you survive long enough to make one. And survival in business, in relationships, in life requires more than just being good. It requires being smart. It requires being strategic. It requires being tough when the situation demands it. The kindest people in the world can't help anyone if they get crushed by those who take advantage of them. The most generous people can't give anything if they give everything too early. The most honest people can't speak truth if they get silenced by those who prefer comfortable lies.
You have to survive first. Then you can thrive. Then you can create the legacy you want. This means protecting yourself so you can protect others. Building yourself up so you can lift others up. Getting strong so you can help the weak. It is not selfish. It is strategic. It is not cruel. It is careful. It is not about abandoning goodness. It is about preserving it so that your goodness can actually make a difference. Look at the people who create lasting positive change in the world. They are not pushovers. They are not people pleasers. They are not afraid to say no, to set boundaries, and to make hard, unpopular decisions. They understand that being good isn't about being weak. It is about being powerful enough to choose goodness when it matters most, rather than having it be your only default setting. Machiavelli's most infamous line is this: "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." What he really meant is this: respect matters more than fleeting affection. Impact matters more than temporary popularity. Results matter more than comfortable feelings. You do not have to choose between being good and being strong. You can be both. You should be both. But if you're forced to choose strength first, because strength gives you the power to be truly, effectively good when it counts. Weakness just makes you a victim, even with the best of intentions. We have covered a lot of ground today, but let me leave you with the most important lesson of all. Goodness without strategy is the most dangerous trap you can fall into. It makes you vulnerable to exploitation. It drains your resources until you have nothing left to give. It creates expectations you can never sustain. And ultimately, it prevents you from creating the positive impact you were truly capable of making. But goodness with strategy, that becomes a weapon of survival and influence. It becomes a tool for creating real change. It becomes the foundation for a life and a legacy that actually matters. You now know the shocking cost of blind goodness. You understand why generosity can become a trap, why gratitude fades, and why good intentions without good results are ultimately worthless. More importantly, you know how to transform your goodness from a weakness into a profound strength. You know how to be kind strategically, how to help effectively, how to create outcomes that matter. Before you leave this video, I want you to make a decision, a real decision. Are you going to keep being good in the old way, blindly, without boundaries, until it drains you and destroys your potential? Or are you going to start being good in the new way, strategically, effectively, powerfully? So here is the real question. This is what will determine your future. Will you let your goodness weaken you, or will you master it and turn it into undeniable power? The choice is yours, but now you have the knowledge to choose wisely. If this video has opened your eyes to something new, then hit that like button. If you want more truth that challenges how you see the world, then subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell. And if you know someone, a friend, a family member, a colleague who needs to hear this message, who is talented and good-hearted but constantly being taken advantage of, then share this video with them. Give them the key. Your goodness is not your weakness. When used strategically, it becomes your greatest strength. Drop this final sovereign affirmation in the comments. Let's see it. I master strategic goodness. Remember, in a world full of wolves, don't be a sheep. Be the shepherd. Be the one who protects the flock, not through weakness, but through wisdom, through strategy, and through undeniable strength. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.